Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are here to discuss a brand new palette from Artist Couture. This is the Supreme Bronze Eyeshadow and Pressed Pigment palette. It is $42, available on their website and on Sephora and linked below. In this palette, let's take a look at it. We've got 12 shades that are warm and cool, kind of based. Essentially, it's a neutral palette. I think it's a neutral plus palette, but it's essentially a neutral palette, but it's got kind of warm and cool shades. 12 different shades with 3 different finishes. We have matte, of course, and metallic, and this kind of 3-dimensional pearly shades. They are lovely. Look at that, and we have that black shadow in there, a la Wayne Goss, who, as you know, likes to put black shadow in all of his, well, he only has 2, but in all of his eyeshadow palettes, because it's always there as a liner, definition, shade, making things smoky a little bit. So we have that here in the Artist Couture palette. If you have the Supreme Nudes, this is kind of like the notched up big sister of the Supreme Nudes. And let me also say, before we get into some comparisons and arm swatches and a demonstration of how it performs, let me also say that if you are interested, this bronze was also released with a head-to-toe perfection oil. Though this is 42, the oil is actually 45 and literally is head-to-toe, including can be used on the hair to make it shiny, the face, the body, anywhere you want. I don't tend to do well with oils in the hair, although this might be a wonderful one. I would love to hear your experiences with it if you did go ahead and purchase it. And I'm definitely kind of above the body oil age. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't invest in that, but I would love to hear your comments if you did. Okay, let's take a look. We just looked at the beautiful shades, and there's a lovely mirror here. I still have the covering over it so it doesn't get scratched, but look at that. We've got lovely orange and browns. I mean, it's quite beautiful. Let's go to the arm swatch so you can take a look at it on my arm. It is absolutely stunning, and each shade really does hold its own, which is a bit of a spoiler alert for my tutorial and demo that's coming up in a moment. Now, I also know that you guys are going to want to compare it to a few other neutrals, some of the obvious ones and some of the current competition. I've got a little video up my sleeve coming that I don't want to repeat myself, so I'm not going to do too many arm swatches, though if you have anything particular that you need compared, please ask me below or in Instagram. I'd love to do that for you. But just for right now, if you're trying to make a decision in your cart, in your shopping cart right now, let's take a look at it next to the Melt Brunet. I did a review of the Melt Brunet. At this point, when this video comes out, it will be yesterday, that I love the Melt Brunet. I'm not always a fan of Melt palettes, but I love it. So here the two are right next to each other. There's not too much of a resemblance, is there? You would think there would be a little bit more with the way they're being compared. Not really. This is much more neutral, much more neutral than this guy. Has a lot more kick to it. And then the Patrick Ta comparison, I don't know why, but we're in the neutral family, so we might as well compare them. Patrick Ta, of course, has the cream bases in there. Let me hide behind these here. Other than that, really no similarity, although both could be kind of considered neutral palettes. Again, I've got a little something up my sleeve content-wise that I won't ruin just yet. And I had to do it. I had to do it. This is the Supreme Bronze, so we had to bring out Natasha Denona Bronze. Surprisingly, very little in common, but do take a look. Natasha Denona, of course, right here, and Artist Couture right here. We'll get arm swatches going in further content coming up in the next week or so, but I did want you to at least take a look at that in case you are thinking of some of these in your cart. In terms of price, our Artist Couture Supreme Bronze is, as I said, $42. The Melt is $48, and Patrick Ta is $68. In a recent video, I called it $48. I don't know why I was trying to just give us all a savings, but it is $68. Honestly, listen to me getting that wrong. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to come back and we're going to recreate this look on my face. I try to use as many of the shades as I humanly can without it getting ridiculous like a clown. So we use a lot of different shades and test them out, and I am quite impressed, I will tell you. So stay right there and let's try this guy out. Okay, are we ready to see how these perform? total first impressions here, more as I use it more, but let's open it up and take a look here. Okay, I will make sure to insert that too, to insert all the shade names that I use below, just because I probably won't follow along now, but I will be sure to do that after, as I do know it's helpful. Okay, so if I don't say them, I'll insert them. All right, I'm gonna go in here first with this shade right here. And just, I don't know, I was just going, I get so excited. Okay, so this is just kind of setting the base that I have, just with this, for me, skin colored powder. And depending on your skin shade, this will be lighter or darker on you, okay? And then I'm gonna go in here with our second shade in on the top row, same brush, I'm just using Sonia G today, and I'm just kind of going in circles into the crease. I'm not doing anything too noticeable. I didn't even tap that off that time, so I'll darken it. I'm not doing anything too noticeable, you guys. I'm just trying to play with as many shades as I can to just kind of, since this is a first impression, to just kind of check the blendability and all the sorts of things we look for in a good eyeshadow palette. And though these are lighter shades, so far, so good. And let's just run a little bit of that with another Sonia G brush underneath the eye. Okay, so two kind of standard shades. I know that we might be interested in more than that, but I just wanted to give them a try. So let's go into some of the darker ones, namely this little guy down here. Also going to use Sonia G. Love these smaller handle Sonia G brushes. Let's take a look at this. It's a darker shade, performing very, very nicely. Again, this very last shade, but I'll put the names in, of course. Not of course, I didn't used to, but so many of you told me it's so helpful to you, so I've changed my ways. I love the feedback from you guys, and I do listen. Okay, so now I just kind of have a really kind of pretty chocolatey brown, nothing too exciting, but I have hopefully laid the base for something a little more interesting. So what should we do? You know what, let's try this little guy right here. Let's just put him on the lid. Oh, he's a bit more golden than I thought. Now, I would say that that's some fallout, but I have a feeling that's really more just me, my finger slipping and getting a little bit below. That's more golden than I assumed it would be on the eye, but it's very, very pretty. And I'm just kind of going all over with it. And yes, it is a little bit of fallout, a little bit more than I had with, say, the Melt palette, but you know, I am not averse to fallout, you guys. It doesn't really bother me, but it depends how you feel. I'm going to take this brush we used before and just kind of blend a little bit up here. It really kind of depends how you feel about fallout. How do you feel about fallout? Let's go in with this color here, which I see is called Sand, and just put a little bit of it in the corner. That is a very kind of muted look for me. That's about as dangerous as I get. Gosh, that's a pretty palette. Really, really pretty. I don't know how we will ever choose. Here's what I'm going to do. We really want to see this orange, don't we? Let's put a little bit of orange. Let's try the orange. I mean, I cannot tell you if this palette's going to work if I don't know if an orange is going to work. So let's just go a little bit in with the orange. Let's see if it kind of gets muddy. I mean, in a way it should, because it's on top of so many other colors. Ooh, that's really pretty. It's not getting muddy. I thought it might just make a big old mess. And it's blending really, really nicely. And actually, I don't think I'm making as much of a mess as I thought I would. Let me get on some eyeliner and some mascara, and then I think we have quite a few things to discuss here. Stay right there. Okay, here is the finished look. I didn't do anything else to the eyes. I just added a little bit of Pat McGrath liner in shade and some Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push-Up Mascara. And I love the look. I am in love with these deep chocolate mocha browns. And therefore, to me, like my little summary here, this, though it is different than the Melt Brunet palette, this Artist Couture palette to me still is more of the competition of the Melt Brunet than it is the Patrick Ta if you're deciding among the three. Why do I say that? I feel the Patrick Ta is a very ladylike, gentle, neutral, and I feel that the Melt and now this Artist Couture are a much more kick the door down, bold neutral. These are more brown palettes. Now, we know that the Artist Couture palette is not solely brown, but we have browns and golds. We even have a black in there in warms and cools, and that allows it to be a little bit more of a bold eye look. I have now tested all of these and played with them. I'm quite glad that I decided just to take a chance on camera and go with that orange. I wondered if it would get really muddy, and I don't know. You can let me know what you think. I don't feel that it did. I feel that all the shades have kind of held their own pretty darn well. I do want to play with these golds a little bit more, but I just wanted to check out how the multidimensional shades worked in the kind of the pearls and things like that. I think it's a beautifully performing palette. For the money, really it's a toss-up. It's a $6 difference. The Melt is $6 more than Artist Couture, and so it kind of almost comes down to which brand you want to support, to be honest with you. Kind of still an independent makeup artist versus a larger company that's still not a very large company. They're both good places to really put your money, to be quite honest with you, and they perform well. I wish I could say definitively, and you know, I wish I could try to make some more headlines and be a bit more controversial and tell you which one to buy and which one not to buy. I cannot do that because I would go between the two of these over the Patrick Ta because I like the bolder look and I like the bolder browns. The browns in, let's just talk about Artist Couture since this is its video. The browns in here and the darker shades blended beautifully, which is very important to me and should be important to you. Maybe if your brushes aren't great, maybe if you feel like you're a little timid around darker eyeshadows, it's really nice when they blend well so you don't end like a mark on your eye or feeling like the palette has gotten a hold of you. If you are a professional makeup artist, you know what you're doing anyway. You can make anything work, gentlemen and ladies that are professionals out there. But for those of you that are just playing around at home, something like this that blends well is really a nice thing. So whether you get this, the Patrick Ta, or the Melt, ask me your specific comments below or in on Instagram, and then maybe I can help you pinpoint better if I hear what your specific needs and wants are, and maybe that's a little bit better. Because in terms of making just a bold buy this statement, boy, I do like them all. I really do. My personal favorite is going to be the Melt, but that doesn't mean it would be yours. So please leave your comments below and ask any questions that you might want. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already done so, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.